My problem is this. You got people that go into the draft all high and happy. Everything is apples and oranges coming out of the draft, right? We filled some roster roles. Players, the tight end Johnson, the running back, I like him. Okay? The safety. But does the safety win you a Super Bowl? Did you really have to have that safety in the second round? Here's my issue. The same guys who cry that Daniel Jones has never had an O-line. He's never had a number one receiver. Don't make a big deal that the Giants drafted Neighbors at 6. Anybody could have done that. And the whole world knows he's an atomic weapon. Don't sit here and tell me that the Giants didn't want Drake May, which means they didn't want Daniel Jones. Because this morning it came out. You tried offered a 6, 47, 107, and next year's one to New England at 3 to get Drake May. A guy I've been saying the Giants wanted. The only quarterback the Giants wanted since early January. I believe they wanted him since last August. 7 games scouted by Shane personally. That's all you need to know. Drake May was the guy, and they offered a haul and a half. And Kraft said no. Smart, because he knows a franchise diamond when he sees one. And the Patriots got Drake May, that's fine. Nothing we could do about it. We tried. But don't sit here and tell me the Giants chose Daniel Jones because they wanted so far out of Daniel Jones. It's a smack in your face if you can't see it. And you're going to sit here and complain all year for 3 years that the Giants didn't put an O-line in front of Jones. That's why he hasn't succeeded. But you go into a draft fully loaded with O-linemen and you don't take one. You choose a fucking safety over an O-lineman. Dallas has a good O-line. They drafted 2. The Steelers redid their entire offensive line into a beast in the first 3 to 4 rounds. But the Giants can't take one O-lineman. Why? Because you got 2 free agents in free agency? And then you're going to sit there and cry to me, my own crew, that Evan Neal's not the guy anymore. They're out on him. Well, I got news for you. Evan Neal's not the guy, but you didn't draft an O-lineman. You kept Daniel Jones with his injuries, right? Neck, knee. But you didn't draft an O-lineman in the 2nd or the 3rd round. But you want to sit here and tell me that Daniel Jones is the guy, but he hasn't succeeded because we haven't put the real deal O-line in front of him. You picked up 2 guys. You couldn't go the extra mile to get another 1 or 2 in the draft? At least 1? 1? Now 1 offensive lineman? Well, you're going to sit here and tell me Daniel Jones is going to be great this year because we got him a receiver. It doesn't work that way. Because the first or second time that Jones gets sacked or can't get Neighbors wide open in the open field on a slant or a post, Neighbors is a dog. There's only so many times before he throws his arms in the air and he starts to fucking bitch. Right? Tell me it's not true. You see it in the guy already. He's going to expect the ball every single time he's wide open. And even when he's not wide open. But you're going to tell me that Evan Neal's not the guy. But you didn't draft an O-lineman and you kept Daniel Jones. And in the same breath, you want to tell me that it's not about Evan Neal. Let me tell you something. The entire fucking season and the O-line comes down to Evan Neal now. If Evan Neal doesn't step up and become a guy we all thought he should be, we're in deep shit again. And we're staring at this same problem next year's draft. Do not tell me that the Giants didn't go after Drake May when they offered the 6, the 47, 107, and next year's 1. It's out there. And Kraft said no. And I don't blame the guy. You know why? Because Drake May is a diamond. I don't blame us. We tried. But don't sit here and tell me Daniel Jones was the number 1 option. How do you think Jones feels today knowing that they tried to give up a haul and a half to go get May? Now, I'm not really a hater on Jones. I have major doubts about it already. It's gotten to that point. Year 6. This will be his last year. And I'm not even sure he makes it through the season with Drew Lock hanging around. But if you want to ignore that and you got to prove something to people, an agenda, Daniel Jones, man, I'm just keep it real as a fan. You got to look at things through a glass straight up. You got to stop the nonsense. You want Jones to be the guy? I don't hate the guy. I wish he would have been the guy, but I'm not so sure he is. But a draft fully loaded with linemen, and the Giants drafted 0. Miz.